Let me translate for you in Sex and the City terms. Atlas is Aiden, and Ryle is Mr. Big. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Strawberry Loli movie review channel. Today I'm going to be watching It Ends With Us. Listen, none of the streaming platforms had this movie available in the region where I am, which is Japan, so I literally had to go search on like the dark web to be able to locate a recording of this movie. I would go see it in theaters, but it played for about 2 seconds at my local theater. I blinked and it was gone. Like, I was totally prepared to spend my money to go see this in theaters, but yeah, they have it playing at some of the larger theaters, obviously, like more crowded areas such as Shibuya and Shinjuku and whatnot, but I am not about to go all the way down there. So this will be my first raw, unfiltered viewing of this movie. So I did watch a few reviews and whatnot beforehand. I feel like I do pretty much know what the overall plot is. It doesn't seem like there is that much exposition, I don't know if that's the right word, plot to this story. Now you might be thinking to yourself that, wow, Ren, I wouldn't have guessed that you would be interested in a movie or a storyline like this, and you would be correct. That's exactly why we're going to watch it, because okay, tell me if I'm the only one who is weird like this, but when I encounter things that I like a lot, things that resonate with me on a soul level, whether it be a book or a movie or even makeup products. Well, I guess with makeup, I would just use it religiously. But yeah, if I stumble upon a movie or a TV show or music, that's another huge one. Any of those three, it takes a lot, first of all, for me to really, really love and fall head over heels over a certain piece of media. So if I like something, it's almost to the point where, like, number one, I don't even want to share it with other people. Unlike some people who, I guess, crave that community aspect of wanting to share their love of a certain TV show or movie with other people, I'm the opposite. If I really like something, I'm like super selfish with it. I want to keep it all to myself. On top of that, not only do I not want to share with other people, sometimes it's so good. It's so good that it hurts, because it's this mixture of like, I'm so happy that this piece of art exists, whether it's a song or a movie, but at the same time, I know that it's finite. I mean, unless the series is ongoing, right? Or unless the artist is still in their prime, but usually that's not the case with me. Like, I am that person who will discover some obscure Brazilian soap opera from 1998 about a priest in training and a prostitute who fall in love with each other, and see, I've said too much. I don't want you guys to look up my show. Like, I can't even say the name of the actual show that I'm obsessed with right now, because it hurts too much. It hurts too good, you know? Number one, I don't want to share with other people. And number two, the knowledge that it's over, like it's a finite piece of media, I'm never gonna be able to get my fill of it, because it's only that many episodes or like that many songs in a certain album. Even though I love it, I almost want to avoid it in a sense. Like, I'm trying to save it for later or something. I want to, be able to maximize my savoring of each morsel of every minute of the show or every second of the song. You know what I mean, okay? We understand each other. So that is why I decided that It Ends With Us would be the perfect movie for me to sit down and watch and review, precisely for the fact that I'm really, really apathetic to the story as a whole, and it just seems mediocre all across the board. That seems to be the general consensus as well. Not mediocre in terms of the DV subject matter, of course. I do think that that's, commendable that both the author and the people involved in the movie dedicated like this time and energy to bringing such an important issue to light in a piece of mainstream media. But mediocre in terms of like the whole Blake Lively controversy about how she was exposed as a mean girl, and then like the weird passive-aggressive feud, I don't know if that's the right word, between her and Justin Baldoni, who's the male lead character of the movie. That whole media circus surrounding this movie, that's what I'm calling very mediocre, very not impressive. So yeah, without further ado, let us get into the video. Don't mind the subtitles in a different language that I don't even know which language this is, to be honest with you. But like I said, this is the only recording that I was able to find on the net that I am able to view here in Japan. Okay, so basically Blake Lively plays the main character, Lily Bloom, and she's going back to visit her hometown because she just got news that her dad passed away. Spoiler alert, this entire video is gonna be a huge spoiler alert. You all know I don't care. But yeah, her name is Lily Bloom, and I don't know if she already opened a flower shop or she's going to later in the film, but Lily Bloom, owner of a flower shop. And then she mentions to her mom that for her dad's funeral, she's ordered lilies, or that's the flower that they're gonna prepare. Maybe I should write a book because it seems like you don't have to have that much of an imagination.
He really loved you. Your father. I know, yeah, I know.
Andrew Bloom, deeply beloved mayor of this fair town and father to...
Oh, her dad was the mayor of the town. Okay, interesting.
Lily, come on up to the stage, darling.
I'd like to share with you the 5 things that I love most about him.
All 5 reasons are blank. You know what? I am going to put this on 2 times speed. I will slow down later for the interesting parts, but... Ooh, is this Dubai? Whoa.
I'm sorry. Will you please get down from there?
I'm good, thanks.
He's making me nervous sitting so close to the edge.
Top floor, right next to my sister and her husband.
What do you do for a living?
Neurosurgeon.
In school to have me laughing like this. I'm sorry. I thought you were a crypto bro.
You thought I was a
what?
crypto bro?
Oh, I didn't catch it at first. She said that she thought he was a crypto bro. Okay, but he's a neurosurgeon, so I guess they live in the same apartment complex. Or I don't even know, like, what city are they in? Are they flirting here? I don't really understand.
Why haven't I seen you before?
Mostly because I've never required brain surgery. But also because I don't live here, so...
So you just broke into my building?
I have a really nice view.
I do.
I'm looking at you. That's why.
What's your name?
Lily.
Ryle.
Ryle. Okay. That sounds like it would be a nightmare to pronounce in Japanese. Daiudu is what they would say here.
Really nice meeting you. Thank
Okay,
you.
it
Just
would
be careful.
courteous to give me back your last name. Your name is Lily Bloom.
Yes. It actually gets worse. And I'm about to open my first flower shop. Yeah, it's a lifelong dream. Just stop. I told you.
No, Lily Bloom, the florist.
You guys, it's only been 10 minutes and I'm already looking at the clock, like wondering when this is gonna be over. Okay, I feel like, you know what, I will hand it to the actors. Who is it? Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, the infamous. They are doing a pretty good job, I feel, with the very limited material that they've been given. Like, this script is dry as parchment paper so far. I hope it picks up as the movie progresses, because so far it is a script as dry as parchment paper. But somehow these two are, you know, milking the best that they can out of it. So I guess, in that sense, good actors. But let's continue.
I watched the little boy die tonight. He was only 6 years old. His brother found a gun in his parents' bedroom and it went off by accident. Tried everything.
I can't imagine what that's gonna do to that little boy who lived.
Destroy him for life. That's what we
Foreshadowing.
did.
Okay, I know what's gonna happen later. There's gonna be a truth that's revealed about Ryle from his sister.
First guy I had sex with was homeless.
Stop.
Yeah, no, really, in high school. Shock me. You can say
I
anything.
want to have sex with you. You
What?
said to shock you.
I'm sorry. How many women has this worked on?
I'm not a relationship person.
Yeah, I
Never
got
been good.
that. Well,
Okay, I would have been completely turned off right then and there. Like, completely, all attraction gone. Speaking of attraction, so this is just very random and not really important, but I mean, both of them are conventionally attractive people, right? That's why they were chosen to play these roles. Justin Baldoni, sorry, I keep wanting to say Baldini, is interesting because he is very, very much the conventionally attractive, like what you would imagine if you say the word alpha male. This is not a dig at Justin Baldoni or anything, but there's just something about him that is like completely sterile to me. Like he's just completely devoid of sex appeal. I don't know how else to put it. Both on screen and, well, I guess I don't really know what he acts like off screen. I haven't really watched interviews or anything other than the weird ones that Blake gave for this press tour. But yeah, something about Justin Baldoni is just so like completely devoid of X appeal to me. I don't know if that's done on purpose for this movie, but I feel like no, because they're trying to go for the image that he's this F-boy, playboy type of character, right? So I don't know, like to me he seems almost like an AI person.
I'm gonna have to break a record. I'm the kind of girl you take home to mama.
How far would you go?
I'm not sure. I'm an unreliable narrator.
Too far.
No.
This?
Depends what happens next.
Okay, prep the OR. Tell Tommy Scotting I'm gonna supervise. All right, I'll be there in 10.
Yeah, okay. You know what? It's still too early to tell, but I'm starting to come around. Like, I came into this with a very, very biased opinion, you could say, of the movie. I had low expectations, right? But from that little interaction that just happened where, oh my god, what's his name? Ryle was trying to put the moves on Lily, I can already kind of recognize that this is actually getting me to think. Again, there's no way to tell if this is their intention or not, but from my interpretation, the way I see it, if you are of a healthy mindset, like if you are a woman who respects herself and she knows what looks like a proper expression of interest from a guy versus an improper one, you would be feeling very uncomfortable right now having just watched that scene, like I am, because he crossed so many boundaries in that scene. And Lily's character, so you can tell that she has some issues with boundaries, or she doesn't even know, she doesn't have a good sense of like what is a proper boundary or what is the proper way that a guy should approach you if he's interested in you, even if it is just for something casual or just for sex, as this Ryle character so crudely put it during one of his first utterances to her. You can tell that she just doesn't have boundaries when it comes to dudes. Like, she thinks that, okay, he's hot, he's a neurosurgeon, he's showing me attention, and I do think he's attractive as well. I am intrigued. I am kind of reciprocating his interest, so therefore this must be okay. But like, it was not okay. Do you know what I mean? The way that like immediately just went in for the kill and started taking her jacket off and stuff. So yeah, add to that the fact that he would have kept going had his phone not ring for him to be called in for an emergency at work. Not a good feeling. Like, red flags all around. If you are a woman who respects herself and who doesn't have any wounding when it comes to male-female relationships, and you don't have any, you're lucky enough to have either not experienced any DV or RAPE in your past, or you're lucky enough to have healed from that, your nervous system would immediately start feeling uncomfortable during this scene. Like, there is nothing about this that is okay or normal or hot. It doesn't matter how objectively attractive Ryle might be, physically speaking, or even in terms of his swag. It's icky, the way that he acted here. And I feel like, yeah, Lily obviously can't really pick up on that. Or she does, but she doesn't feel like it's her place to criticize that. It's almost like, okay, but he's so successful and so attractive and he's showing me interest, so I should just be thankful that he threw me a bone. That's the type of vibe that I'm getting from Lily here, and I don't like it.
It was nice meeting you.
Oh, this is young Lily. Okay. So we have a flashback.
Thank you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? Wait, did I miss something? Sorry. I am changing my context right now. I feel like I missed something. Let me go back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so she brought like a couple of bags of food to his house and left it there. He's thanking her for it, but she's acting like she doesn't want to acknowledge what is going on between them. I don't know. So clearly his family is struggling or something. I think this is Atlas, her first boyfriend.
My parents are gonna be home for an hour or so if you wanna.
Okay, so
What do you wanna do after you graduate?
I'm signed up to go to basic training in May.
Basic training, what is?
In the Marines.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll hear you. Hi. Can I help you? Can I help you? Excuse me? The help wanted sign up front? You have a help wanted sign up
Oh
front.
God, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Well, I'm not hiring just yet. I just got the keys a few days ago and I'm still sore, you know.
I have an issue with my face says it all. I just hate flowers.
You hate flowers.
I do.
Oh, okay.
Like, why don't you just give me something that's living rather than something that's on its way to dying?
Do you want a job?
This is exactly what I wanted to happen to me when I walked in here. Yes.
Oh God, okay.
Wonderful. Great. I have to be out by 5 p.m. tonight. I do have a dinner.
Tonight.
okay. That was so stupid. I'm sorry. That whole conversation was so unnecessary and stupid, and that doesn't happen, okay? You can't just be like, no one walks into a flower shop that's opening and says to the owner, I hate flowers, and then gets offered a job 2 seconds later. That just doesn't happen in any universe. And it's not even funny. Like, it's not... What's going on? Sorry, Ryle. I might call him Lyle and Ryle interchangeably because Ryle is just a difficult name for me to pronounce, apparently. I guess I've been in Japan too long.
This is the flower shop that my sister works at because she's bored.
Oh, we like to say inspired here.
Let's go have some dumb fun today. It's a bad idea, right? Because of my sister, because of your business.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
She's off limits. No, she's mine. I see you.
I still have no idea what city they're in.
Can I just kiss you?
Oh my
Just once.
God, you aren't
Just once.
pushy. You're just protecting the roots, you know, from the snow in case it freezes over or anything.
You want some?
Oh.
This is really good casting because that girl really does look like Blake Lively. So I guess this is going to be a theme throughout the movie. They're going to intercut between flashbacks of her with Atlas, her first love, I presume her first boyfriend in high school, and present day with Ryle. Okay, so yeah, clearly it's been established that her dad is abusive towards her mom. And I mean, it's pretty clear the DV extends to her as well in some capacity. But yeah, we'll just have to keep watching to see how that plays out.
Thank God. Oh, it's incredible.
It's perfect.
Congratulations. How's it going so far?
I mean, we literally just opened, but...
So that means your brother's the first official customer?
Oh, you have to buy something to be considered a customer, right?
So are you bringing this mystery girl to my birthday party on Friday?
Okay, so they're best friends now? When did that happen? Wait, I'm confused. Oh my god, what is her name? You know what? I'm just going to look this up right now. Okay, Alyssa. Alyssa is the name of the girl that is helping her with the flower shop. So they say later on, I forget who says it, but when they're first fixing up the flower shop, it is revealed that it has been months since the first meeting between her and Ryle. So I guess the story like jumps around. There's quite large lapses of time in between some of the scenes, which is confusing to me because I feel like I don't get that sense whatsoever from scene to scene. I feel like it feels like it's just from one day to the next. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a film director, so I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly how I would do it differently if it were up to me, but all I can do is I can compare like my experience with other movies that have also depicted an unfolding of events over a long period of time. Somehow those movies were able to convey that very clearly to me, and in this movie I just don't feel it whatsoever. It doesn't even feel like the seasons changed. $51 for flowers.
He put the name of our shop as the delivery address.
What are those shoes? Okay, yeah, I heard that Blake Lively supplied her own wardrobe for this movie, and it shows, girl. It shows. I'm so sorry, but I understand the idea is that it's supposed to be a down-to-earth, homely. That's the type of small-town girl that she's portraying, but at the same time, though, we can tell. And yeah, I guess speaking of wardrobe, I did not come to this viewing on theme. I'm sorry, I don't think I even own any florals, so even if I wanted to, I would not have been able to dress myself to the theme of this movie. But anyway, so now where are we? See, I'm confused again. Has it been several months? Has it been a week? Is it the same day but just later on that evening? Like, I really don't understand the passage of time.
gosh, guys, this, I mean, your house, this is, I can't.
This is our humble abode. I just wanted to do something low-key for baby girl.
Oh my God.
You like the flowers?
Stop flirting with me. Let me have a scotch, please.
Nothing.
You got it. You got to stop. You have to stop this. Stop showing up at my flower shop and then sending me flowers. Stop walking through this party, following me around.
Can you just shut up for 1 second?
In real life, okay, IRL, and I mean, this movie is supposed to depict something that's very realistic that unfortunately happens all the time. Just for the record, girls, in real life, if any guy ever talks to you in that tone, if they ever have that moment where they kind of snap and say something super cruel or harsh, not that shut up is the worst thing in the world. There are maybe like a slim set of incidences in which shut up might be okay, like if he is saying it in an obviously sarcastic tone, but even then I would say that most stand-up decent guys, they would never risk saying something like that, especially not when you guys aren't even together, when you're not like super familiar with the way that the other person likes to banter. Any guy who has been brought up well would never elect to say anything that might even be interpreted as a yellow flag, you know? So yeah, it's not so much the fact that he said shut up, it's the fact that there was that tiny like split second of cruelty that came through that he wasn't able to suppress. Not a good sign. And then he goes right back to being the charming, like mask on, successful neurosurgeon, was it?
Do you want to have some more pride?
To talk.
This is awkward. Does anyone else feel awkward? I feel like they have no chemistry.
Okay, stop.
Yeah, okay. Maybe, again, it's supposed to be done on purpose because the whole idea is that he's crossing all sorts of boundaries with her and she does not have the wherewithal to put her foot down. But I don't know, the chemistry is just dry. Even in a toxic sense, I don't feel it coming through the screen. And it's no surprise if you look at the PR nightmare that the press tour was between these two.
Sorry. I can't do this.
Don't be sorry, girl. You have nothing to be sorry about.
You okay? What are you doing?
Getting ready for bed?
Where are they?
Do you have something I can wear?
No. Where are they? Is this the same apartment building that they've been hanging out at this whole time, or is this a hotel? Like, how did they just get from the party to the... Okay, I guess they left the party early. Okay, I guess they're back at the apartment building now. Sorry, is my brain slow, or is this movie just not doing a great job of setting up the backdrop for me? You know what she reminds me of in this scene? She's totally giving Miss Bellum / Sedusa. But no, more like Miss Bellum. With the hair and the sexy hourglass silhouette and everything. I just don't understand the point of this scene, of this dialogue. Like, it's all so dry to me.
Good night, Lily Blue.
Have you coffee? Oh. Hi. No. I understand. It's not as bad as it looks.
It runs through women like candy.
This is different.
Oh, is it? Wonderful. Well, just in case it obviously is not, let me say that if you're looking for nothing from him, that's a great option. But if you're looking for romance and you want a relationship, this is not the person and it's not about you, and I love you, say.
Date me. Date me.
What does that mean?
Okay.
I want to try.
Okay, what are those shoes? Oh my god. You know what those remind me of? Remember, I don't even know how much time has passed since then, but maybe 4 or 5 years ago, remember the Christian Louboutin lipsticks? The stiletto looking ones? They looked kind of like a BUTT plug is what everyone was saying. I owned one of those, and I remember that they made me take it out of my bag when I was going through security once at the airport because it looked like a weapon. It was shaped like, you know, some sort of bullet. So I don't know if those shoes necessarily are Christian Louboutin. I mean, they do have red bottoms, but yeah, that heel is something else. This is the thing though, like something about the fashion dates the movie for me. It's giving very much 2018-19, which I guess maybe it makes sense because the book was released earlier than this. I don't even know when the book was released. Let's look it up. It Ends With Us. Okay, yeah, the book was published 2016, which makes sense because those heels are giving major 2016 vibes. The Christian Louboutin lipstick bullet case heels. Also, is that not the biggest red flag in the world? This guy's sister saying, warning you, not even in secret, right in front of the guy, that he's a womanizer and he's no good, and that you should run far away. I mean... Not a fan of the soundtrack either, I gotta say. This movie is not gaining many points with me so far.
Mom's in town.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
I'm sorry, I didn't think you want to know.
Is there room for one more?
It is because of her, this woman.
I just want to meet the mother of the woman I love.
I want to meet the mother of the woman I love. So is this like the first time that he's ever said out loud the L word to her? See, again, this is the thing. He is exhibiting this kind of controlling behavior. He was obviously expressing his displeasure at the fact that she didn't tell him that her mom was in town, which is valid. You know, that alone doesn't necessarily indicate an abusive countenance on his part. Like, many people can probably relate to that situation, that they want to be introduced to the parents, but maybe their significant other is not on the same page yet. But it's just interesting to me. Like, I do think they're doing a good job with showing the abusive tendencies coming out very slowly and very subtly, because it's like, even I right now, I'm going back and forth between, okay, well, he's not necessarily being abusive, but then it kind of comes off that way, but then in the next breath he's like back to normal. So I think it's doing a good job of showing the subtleties of how we can miss the signs so completely in the beginning, to the point where by the time it's escalated, we're like in too deep, or many victims of that type of dynamic in a relationship. That's how they find themselves knee deep into an abusive relationship before they even know it.
I happen to love you too. Did you make this?
Yeah. Carved it from a branch from your old oak tree. In case you forget.
Let me translate for you in Sex and the City terms. Atlas is Aiden, and Ryle is Mr. Big.
I bet she has rabies now.
Hot chocolate cookies. Dark chocolate with burnt marshmallows.
Hot chocolate cookies?
My mom, did you kiss me earlier because you really wanted to? Or was it mostly just to get back at Katie?
I wanted to. That is my dad. You have to go.
Hi, Mom. This is my friend Ryle. Yeah, who I now sleep with. So.
Who says that to their mom? Like, this is my friend who I now sleep with. Oh my god, this dialogue, I can't. It's not even bad, like laugh out loud, funny bad. It's just bad. I am that emotionless emoji with the straight line across its face for the mouth.
I do know I said that out loud, brother.
Oh, yes. Now I see a resemblance.
Why? Mom, we don't need to do that.
You never told me you were dating the most
Casey's got a good personality to make up for it, though.
So, what is this?
Are you by any...
Awkward. Okay, so her first high school boyfriend, Atlas, is apparently the owner of this restaurant that she's now at with her mom and her new boyfriend, soon to be fiance. Sorry, spoiler alert. I know the story already, okay? I know the entire movie. So, yeah, that's awkward. She's at dinner with her new boyfriend and her mom, while the server/owner of the restaurant is her high school boyfriend, or her ex-boyfriend, Atlas.
Any chance? A doctor?
I am. I'm actually gonna.
So tell me about Boston.
Boston doesn't have you.
Health class.
Lily Bloom.
Atlas, you look.
Yeah, you.
Oh God, thank you. I mean, my mom didn't recognize you, so.
What are you doing in Boston? Are you visiting here?
Oh, I live here.
Okay, they're in Boston. Finally, I get my answer. I was like, what city is this?
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Do you have anyone? Are you married? Or do you have a girlfriend? Or anything?
Yeah, I got Cassie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh.
I'm gonna be a dad.
This entire movie is just cliche after cliche after cliche. Like, it's just so basic. I could not have imagined a more basic ass storyline.
Oh, yeah. 3 kids in 3 years. Makes you feel bad for our mom.
3? You guys have a sibling?
Yeah. We had an older brother, Emerson. And he died when we were younger.
Oh my god, okay. Sorry, maybe I should just let it finish before I make any more commentary, but that was just so abrupt. Like, I feel like there is no smooth transition from scene to scene. Even the music from the last scene is just abruptly cut off, and then now we're in this scene. There are times where that is done on purpose. It's supposed to feel abrupt. That works if the direction is good, but here I don't get the sense that they're deliberately going for anything. It's just very basic overall. The filmmaking, the scene setup, the characters, everything about this movie is just so basic. I can't.
What's that mean?
God, it's nothing. I just, one of those silly things you do.
It's not nothing.
No, this is just like one of those silly things you do in high school, and I don't know why I still have it. Oh, shit. I told you. I'm sorry. I did tell you.
Hey.
What was that?
Okay.
What was that? No.
So he reached into the oven without a glove and then burned himself, and then somehow she ends up like smack face down on the floor with a black eye. So I'm thinking that this is kind of her mind trying to put like a rosy filter over what actually happened, right? Because how else would she get a black eye? And why would she have fell on the floor? I don't know.
I was dying to try the new place.
Yeah,
I've already been
they
there.
heard how we talked about it.
Just
and
call them.
No, they're already there. They
No, I
ordered
know.
like 14
Oh, I really
appetizers.
wanted
You
to
know
try the
my
new place.
sister.
I know.
So I guess like, I'm sorry, I'm playing this at 1.5 speed and I can't be bothered to slow it down. I know that I'll inevitably just want to speed it up again later, so we're just gonna keep it at 1.5 speed. Basically, he booked the same restaurant for another event, Root, which is the one that her high school ex-boyfriend owns, so she wants to avoid bumping into Atlas again, I'm sure. And so that's why she's like acting weird and saying that she wanted to try a new restaurant.
Oh, look at you, honey.
I was fine. It doesn't
No,
hurt.
it was a mess. You should have seen
Yeah,
her.
his hand, he got hurt too, so we're,
What does it look like? We can do a Series A and scale this thing up.
Come on, tell me what happened.
Nothing. He burned his hand and I fell. I know, it was an accident though, it was...
That was an accident.
Yes.
Leave him. You gotta leave him.
I am not
Leave
your
him.
mother, Atlas.
Are you turning into yours?
Atlas did not come to play. Atlas clocked that immediately. Okay, but I have a bone to pick with this. I don't know, something about, this whole, like I've been saying for this whole movie, it's just very, very trite. Like, it's very basic. Everything is wrapped up a little bit too pretty in a bow. There are no loose ends in this movie. Maybe I'll summarize later after.
Wait, what is this? Touch it again, I'll cut your hand off and shove it to me. I almost wanted to wasted your virginity on her.
Stop! Stop! Let's get out of here.
Get out of my restaurant!
Stop!
Yeah!
Stop it now!
Lily, what was he doing in the
I saw my
bathroom
eye,
with
and
you?
I think I saw your hand, and he knows it was an accident, and I told him.
Anyone but him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyone but him.
Okay, I think one of the things adding to my cognitive dissonance about this whole thing, there are a lot of factors, but I don't know how old everyone is supposed to be, but I guess Atlas and Lily are not that far removed from high school, so I'm gonna guess, according to the books, they're supposed to be in their early to mid-20s, which, don't get me wrong, Blake Lively is lovely. She looks very gorgeous. And that guy that plays Atlas is conventionally attractive as well. Ryle is attractive. Everyone in this movie is attractive, right? But these are definitely not early 20-something-year-olds in my eyes. They definitely look like their age. They're in their mid to late 30s. And yeah, I think that's adding to my cognitive dissonance because I just can't imagine that, I don't know, maybe like anyone who has been through unfortunate DV situations like this, maybe you can enlighten me in the comments, because I must say, I count my blessings. I'm lucky enough to not have experienced this in any type of intimate relationship. Well, okay, I've been in my share of toxic relationships, but nothing on this level in terms of physical ABUSE, and so it's just hard for me to believe that Ryle would care that much about a high school ex-boyfriend, like her first boyfriend. Ryle is a neurosurgeon, right? That means that he must have been in medical school for 10, 12 years or something like that. So I'm gonna assume that Ryle is definitely in his 30s as far as the character goes. I guess Lily and Atlas are supposed to be 24. And also, again, I keep forgetting because I don't think they're doing a very good job at it, but every time we see them, it seems like a good chunk of time has passed by. So I guess we're seeing Ryle and Lily now much deeper into their relationship. Like they are pretty much settled into kind of this rhythm as a couple, and maybe, yeah, I guess she's told him a lot of stories at this point about her high school ex-boyfriend, and so I guess there has been a lot of time for certain feelings of jealousy to fester. I don't know. You see, I'm really like reaching, I'm really doing the mental gymnastics to try and make all of this make sense in my mind.
I know. So if I'm not what you want,
No,
you just...
no, I'm fine. Stop.
This is great acting. I must hand it to them. Did you catch that single tear rolling down Lyle's face? That was good acting. Okay, I was gonna mute the sound, but they muted it for me because I didn't want to hear his dad. Wow. So her dad basically beat up Atlas so bad to the point where he had to be taken to the hospital.
I just feel really bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It was a misunderstanding.
Oh,
So,
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't.
What are you doing?
It's my number.
So he puts his number in her cell phone.
She's like a little alien.
Like, why are all these people just casually chilling with her in the delivery room? If I had just given birth, I would not want anyone other than my husband in the room with me. I would want to get out of the hospital, like ASAP. I don't know about you, but this is the hospital, right? This is supposed to be, she just gave birth.
Have my babies. Then I would marry her tonight. Oh shit, he's serious.
Oh my gosh.
Will you marry me, Lily Blossom Bloom?
So he basically stole his sister's thunder by proposing to Lily on the birthday of his sister's baby. Like, I don't know, I would be pretty annoyed if you rolled up to my event, like my important life event, and then made it all about you. I feel like that's what he's doing here. And I also feel like, side note, the music in the background is reminiscent of meditation, like affirmation music that I put on sometimes in the morning. I feel like this soundtrack is very disjointed. 1 second it's a pop song. Next we have like, you know, meditation, spiritual relaxation music, and then the next minute it's Lana Del Rey. There's like no cohesion whatsoever.
You want to make up to me?
Yes, please.
Make me a grandbaby.
Wait, I'm confused. So did they elope or something? Like she didn't invite her mom to the wedding? I could rewind and clarify for myself, but I actually don't care, so we're just gonna keep going.
Okay? Hang up. Hey, you okay?
Sorry, should I explain? So yeah, he found Atlas's number that was sandwiched between, I guess, her phone and its case. So if it was just a random number without a name attached to it, though, why would you even bother to call it? This guy is giving obsessive.
Listen to me, please.
Promise me, Lily.
No, he was coming.
Stop.
Stop to me.
Stop.
Please, stop.
You fell down the stairs.
She's having fuzzy recollection, and he's using that as his opportunity to rewrite the history to make it more favorable upon him. But I think what happened is that he actually pushed her down the stairs.
Oh my god, did you see it? Did you see the magazine? We're in the top 10.
Atlas's restaurant beat out Lily's flower shop in the list of top attractions in top mom and pop shops in Boston.
Read it. Let's get to number 1, our favorite restaurant.
The owner, Atlas Corrigan, spoke to the sweet origin story behind his farm-stable hotspot route. I don't want to...
Read it.
When asked if he'd seen the girl since they were
kids, Corrigan replied, yes. Do you love him?
I did.
Do you love him now?
I love you.
So wasn't my question.
What are you doing? Stop.
I think we can all infer what happens, that he basically SAs her the same way that she saw her dad SA her mom when she was little, which was obviously traumatic for her. So it's kind of like, sadly, the abusive cycle continuing. So basically what happened is that Ryle loses control again, and that sends her into a panic attack because it causes flashbacks from when she would witness her dad commit marital RAP against her mom, and then she finally comes to her senses, and it starts showing flashbacks to those other incidents throughout the film where they didn't show us the first time exactly what happened, but now she's remembering clearly. Ryle was flat out being abusive to her. So for example, when they were in the kitchen and he accidentally dropped that thing in the oven on the floor, it shows during this flashback that he actually did punch her in the eye. And then that other incident in the stairwell, he was the one who pushed her down deliberately and with aggression before she blacked out, and then later he was able to kind of convince her that it was an accident. But now she's seeing it clearly for what it is, but now she is remembering those incidents for what they really are. I don't know if she is remembering them or if she always knew, but maybe her brain up until this point has been using certain mechanisms, sugarcoating the memories to try and convince herself that it's not ABUSE. But now, after he kind of crossed the line into SA, which is a whole new level, now she cannot deny it anymore. And I must say, the acting truly is phenomenal. Too bad it's wasted on this mediocre ass script and story. But when she shows up to Atlas's kitchen, they kind of just have that understanding between them of what happened. She doesn't have to say, neither of them have to say a single word. He just takes one look at her, and she does that shrug, starts crying and does that shrug. He already knows. She doesn't have to say a word to explain what went down. So that part, I feel was a very poignant scene. And I do feel I guess throughout the movie so far, the nonverbal communication has been impressive. I mean, these actors are acting the hell out of whatever little material that they've been given.
Sorry for the delay. Does this hurt? This?
Oh my god. So he bit the area where she got that tattoo of that, I don't know what it is, the wood carving thing that Atlas made for her when they were teenagers. That was the heart tattoo that she had on her collarbone the whole time. I guess the sight of that set off Ryle into a jealous rage.
We don't give x-rays to pregnant women unless it's vital.
How would they have known that she was pregnant without giving her a pregnancy test? It just seems like a stretch to me, but okay. Here's the big reveal, the big surprise is that she's pregnant with Ryle's baby. Unless she knew already. Okay.
Kitchen, living room. Hey, let me grab you some clothes.
Never mind. I just had the thought that maybe she already knew that she was pregnant, so I guess that would just be, it would be the first time that Atlas was hearing about it. So now they're in Atlas's house, which looks pretty nice. I don't know how much chefs make, but apparently it's enough to afford a place like that. Oh yeah, and he was lying about his girlfriend Cassie, I guess. So he doesn't actually have a girlfriend. He doesn't have anyone in his life. I guess he's just been in love with and hung up on Lily this whole time, even all these years later. What a surprise.
The night I went to that old abandoned house, I didn't go there because I needed a place to stay. I went there to kill myself. And
Wait. We need to rewind.
You saved my life.
Okay, so this is the first time that he's confessing to her that, yeah, basically when they were kids, before they started their relationship, when she discovered that Atlas was living in an abandoned house sometimes, away from his family. I guess he went there to run away from his family because there were problems at home. And so I think he told her that, oh, I just come here sometimes to hang out. In reality, he was going there to unalive himself. And the fact that she showed up and he fell in love with her subsequently, that's what stopped him from going through with it. And that was really, really good acting. Again, I feel like the actors are top tier. Sorry, I know I'm just repeating myself like a broken record, but there's not much to comment on, to be honest, in this movie. Okay, this is actually very emotional. They're kind of getting to me.
If you find yourself in a position to love somebody again, just fall in love with me.
But wait, where is she going? So is she has she broken up with Ryle, or?
I've been watching him my entire life.
Would it be okay if I asked what happened to Emerson?
Ryle and Emerson were playing in the house. He was a 6-year-old boy. He didn't even know that it was a real gun. He thought that it was pretend.
Yeah, so I already knew this from previous reviews that I watched. That's why I don't have any reaction. But basically, when they were kids, when Ryle was 6 years old, he accidentally unalived their older brother Emerson, who didn't survive. And so that's why he has, like, you know, all these anger issues now as an adult. Which at first, I really kind of took issue with that, because I was like, okay, why do we need to give such an extreme backstory to somebody to almost justify their abusive behavior in a way? Yeah, okay, it is common that people who are abusive or who do messed up things, they do often tend to come from troubled childhoods, or they had something really traumatic happen to them when they were younger. But it's not always the case, right? Some people are just a-holes. They were just born that way, and they were enabled their whole life. Nobody ever called them out for it, and they just get to roam around free without consequences. But then I thought about it again, and I realized that, you know what, I do appreciate that they're trying to give maybe like a nuanced, more realistic depiction of someone who is capable of doing these like heinous things to his wife, no less. It's kind of like, it makes it more realistic, because not every single abuser is going to just be this textbook monster type of person with no conscience. Like in real life, it is often the case that they do exhibit really genuinely good attributes as well. It's just that they also have this part of themselves that they cannot control, their aggression or their anger, and there's no excuse for that ever, right? Even if, no matter how traumatic of a past they may have had. But then at the same time, it's like, it's hard to discount the genuinely good parts about them as well. That's why people get caught up in these situations, right? That's why people get trapped in these relationships, because they do recognize the genuine virtue and goodness in the other person. So they want to, it's natural as humans, especially as women, to want to focus on the positive traits of another person. It's hard to reconcile the fact that someone who does have a good heart, who is trying their best, and who does want to get better and to be a better person, at the end of the day, they are still ultimately responsible for their bad choices. Yeah, that's where the difficulty comes in when it comes time for women, especially who find themselves in abusive situations like this, when they can't really deny it anymore and they have to leave. That's why it takes them so long. I think they say that the average amount of times a woman goes back to her abuser is 7 times before she's finally able to break free for good from that relationship.
As a sister, I wish more than anything that you could find a way to forgive him. But as your best friend, Lily, if you take him back, I will never speak to you again.
That's a real friend. This girl, okay, I'm sorry. I just need to say, because I keep thinking it the whole time, every time this girl comes on screen, the woman who plays Alyssa, she was in one of Lonely Island's earliest skit song music videos. Throw It on the Ground. It's one of my faves. It's a classic. You should see it.
I threw it on the ground.
Congratulations on your bump. Congratulations on your bump.
So why did you stay with him?
That's the heartbeat.
So it's a girl, which is significant, I feel. I'm confused. I thought, like, she was leaving him. Is she taking him back, or is she just using him to... Is she just using him for physical labor to put the crib together? Because honestly, girl, valid. Are they together still? Are they separated? Is she just, like, where is she living? I don't understand.
I was thinking we could name her after your brother.
Emerson.
Yeah, Emerson. Call her Emmy.
I think that's the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me.
Aww. Oh my god, Justin Baldini. I felt a little bit, like, I'm not gonna cry, but I felt a little misty-eyed there. The movie does have its emotional moments, but it's not a masterpiece by far. But no, that was a little touching moment there, that where she suggested that they could name their baby after his deceased brother, who he's, you know, gonna feel guilty about for the rest of his life. I didn't know that Emerson was a unisex name.
I want a divorce.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not for you or me, it's for her. She came to you and said, my boyfriend hit me. What would you Oh, she said, Daddy, my husband pushed me down the stairs, but he said it was an accident, so it's fine.
I would beg her to leave him.
See, yes, this is what I'm saying. Like, I do appreciate that they are trying to be, they are bringing us a very, very nuanced look into it. It's very realistic. Like I said, it's not just black and white the way that we tend to think of, you know, abusers or the extreme cases that we hear on the news where it's clear that the person is just evil with no soul. I think, unfortunately, the majority of DV cases or anything similar to that, it would be more along the lines of something like this, right? Where the person obviously doesn't want to succumb to their lower nature. They're probably actually going through a lot of personal turmoil trying to suppress or rid themselves of that part of their personality. But yeah, it's not something that's so easily fixed. You can't just wish it away. So it's not impossible, obviously, if the person has a strong desire to change and a strong reason, like in this case where, you know, he now has a daughter that he can't really like ignore or gloss over his actions in the past anymore. Now he has to look at the situation through the lens of, if another man was doing this to his daughter, would he ever be able to forgive it? So it's coming to this realization for him as well, like no matter how badly he wants to obviously be in the lives of the mother and the daughter, he can't really deny that his actions are inexcusable, and he would never accept it if his daughter was going through the same scenario with a man that she loves. It's difficult to even explain, and there's no like perfect, happy, just ending for everyone. And this is probably how it is for 90% of real life cases of DV like this. But you know, even if 1% or just 5% of the relationship is abusive, 1% is one too many. One drop of spoiled milk spoils the entire bucket. So
Stops right here, Bubba, with you and me. It ends with us.
Her and her baby, her and her daughter. It's gonna end with her daughter's generation. I kind of like that. I feel like that's a very small but significant twist, because I think, at least in my case, when I first heard the title of the book and the movie, It Ends With Us, I assumed the us meant her and Ryle, right? Lily and Ryle, us as a couple, but now it's being revealed that the us is actually referring to Lily and her daughter, after she realizes that in order for the cycle of DV in her family to end, she needs to put a stop to it after the birth of her daughter. See, this is how you know I don't emotionally connect with this movie at all. The fact that like her dad died, and even though, okay, yeah, he treated her mother horribly and all of that, but I guess it was established in the movie that he never turned his violence on her. It was always towards just people surrounding her. Like, he never put his hands on Lily, but he would commit acts of DV against her mom. He beat up Atlas to the point where he had to be rushed to the ER and he almost died. So she has these like very complicated mixed feelings about his dad, right? Especially now that he's gone and there's no chance of reconciliation or anything like that. But I don't know. I also lost my dad suddenly last year, right? So you would maybe expect me to feel some sort of connection to the character here, but I just simply don't. I mean, my dad was never abusive, so obviously that I don't really have anything in common with Lily in that respect as it pertains to my relationship with my dad. But I don't know, I just expected like maybe a little bit of tugging at my heartstrings, just for the fact that there is an element of someone losing their dad in this film, but I feel nothing whatsoever. Now, compare this with my reaction to a movie like Interstellar. Okay, Interstellar, you know what, I shouldn't get into it in this video because we're reacting to It Ends With Us, but my friend in Dubai, one of my friends that like drives me around sometimes in the middle of the night when we both have nothing to do, he insisted that I watch Interstellar. He said that that was his favorite movie, so I was like, all right, fine, let me check it out on the flight back home. And when I tell you, that movie messed me up for at least the next 3 weeks. First of all, it was the worst timing ever because I didn't even finish the movie. Like, the plane landed about maybe 15 minutes before the ending. So it's like I didn't even have time. If I was gonna watch it, I should have watched it way earlier in the flight so that I would at least have time to like be a complete emotional wreck and then somehow recoup, you know, get my bearings together. But no, it was just like emotional wreck. Didn't even have the chance to get closure from watching the end of the movie because the plane landed. And then I just had to go straight into disembarking the plane and, you know, going through customs and getting my luggage and all of that. So that was horrible. If you've never seen it, I'm not going to go through the whole plot in this video, obviously, but it's like the father-daughter relationship is a through line in the whole movie, and just the whole dynamic of how, you know, the father and the daughter are really close, and they share their scientific mind. Like, they are both very academically gifted, and she's kind of like an angsty teen that is always like misunderstood or miscast in a bad light by her teacher and other authoritative figures in her life, but her dad always supports her and has her back. It's similar to, obviously, the close relationship that I had with my dad, and then just the total betrayal and rage that she felt when he decided to go on this, you know, intergalactic mission to save Earth and basically abandon her on Earth. And it was just, okay, no, Interstellar was traumatizing to me. At some point, I should probably sit down and give the entire movie a good watch through, the whole thing, without any interruptions, you know, without the plane landing 20 minutes before the ending. But yeah, no. Like, Interstellar, that one messed me up. But this one, even though, like, it's a similar situation of Lily's dad passing away while she's still relatively young, I feel no connection whatsoever because I don't know, I just feel like most of aside from the abuse and the bad behavior of certain characters, I just feel like these characters are so one-dimensional. Even the main character, Lily. Blake Lively is playing herself. I mean, let's be real. Just like this vegan, barefoot, country, like Midwest style. I mean, they're in Boston, but it's giving me Midwest, barefoot, walking in the grass, pregnant vibe with not a stitch of makeup on her sun-kissed face. Okay, let me stop rambling and let's just get the ending over with. Wait, okay, so another few years have passed, if I'm deducting things correctly, because her baby is now a toddler. I mean, I have no idea. I cannot tell children's ages whatsoever, small children. So I don't know if that's like a 5-month-old or a 2-year-old. I literally can't tell. But I guess if she's big enough to swing on a swing, she's at least 1 year old. Some time has passed. That's all we need to know.
Is that your daughter?
Yeah.
She's beautiful. How's the
With
story?
anyone?
No.
Oh, that was abrupt. All right. So I guess the implication is that now she and Atlas are free to, you know, pursue a relationship together, and this time it's gonna be a nice healthy one where she's with a man that is, you know, respects her boundaries and actually loves her for her, is not just like using his love for her as a way to feed his own ego the way that Ryle was. Okay, I am going to say one last thing to close out this video, and it's gonna be an unpopular opinion. See, it's not my opinion though, it's just what I observe to be reality. Some people might get upset at me for saying this, but I just have to say it. I'm not a huge fan of how the ending of the movie, not just the ending, pretty much throughout the whole movie, it's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of just a fantasy c0rn for women, in the sense that it's kind of sending the message that even if you find yourself in a DV type situation with someone, don't worry, because your ex-boyfriend from high school, who has always loved you more than you loved yourself and remains head over heels in love with you well into your adult years, is always going to be there to catch you and be like a safety net for you, or like a get out of jail free card, essentially a Joker card. And I just feel like, have we learned nothing from Severus Snape? I mean, it's basically a Severus Snape type of situation that they have going on here. And coincidentally, both of the girls' names are Lily. Like, Snape was in love with Lily Potter, Harry's mom, for her entire life. And even after she died, we never saw Snape with a partner or even interested in dating anyone else. Even after Lily married his bully and tormentor, James Potter, and had a literal child with him, he still loved her till the end of all time and only had eyes for her. And his heart was totally devoted only to her, to the point where he dedicated his entire life and gave up his life ultimately to protect Harry, the child of her and the guy that bullied him. And so I feel like the same kind of dynamic is basically being presented in this It Ends With Us movie, with Atlas being the Snape figure. So Atlas was basically just single this whole time because he only has eyes for Lily, has been pining after her for however many years since they first met and had their relationship in high school. Even after she goes off and full on marries and has a whole ass child with another dude, yes, she ultimately comes to the right decision to leave him in the end, but she still has a part of Ryle in her life always, in the form of her daughter, Emmy. And so it's kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like it's just this unrealistic fantasy scenario that women would like to have. But the fact that Atlas is there to just like catch her and forgive everything. I mean, they show Ryle being super jealous and toxic, right? Because that's his whole personality. But does that mean that, okay, just because Atlas doesn't have the same kind of trauma and anger issues that Ryle has, that doesn't mean that he's not a man. That doesn't mean he's not a human being. Like, I don't buy the idea that Atlas is just not jealous or doesn't harbor any feelings of resentment whatsoever towards Lily. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that in real life, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm sure there are some cases where it happens, but in real life, for the most part, I don't think most dudes would do this. Like, no matter how in love they are with a girl, if the fact of the matter is that she decides to move on and, you know, essentially move on to like a hotter, more successful on paper version, if she essentially moves on to choose a hotter and more successful by society's standard person over him, like Ryle is a neurosurgeon, which is basically at the top of the food chain, plus he's kind of like universally considered to be really handsome and ripped. Atlas is not too shabby himself, but he's like a restaurant owner and he's more mild-mannered, you could say. So it's like, I don't buy the idea that that type of a stand-up guy with not a bad bone in his body is just going to voluntarily stay single this whole time on the off chance that you decide to finally come to your senses and leave your abusive husband. Like, no, any self-respecting guy, no matter how, like, first of all, any guy that does that, a society would label him a simp, right? And again, a lot of people might not like me for saying this, but I'm just gonna say it. Most women, even if you had a guy like that who was just in love with you throughout all your mistakes and even your relationships with other men after they didn't work out, would you respect a guy who like waited around and basically allowed himself to be your doormat, like waited patiently while you had an entire relationship and marriage and kid with the hot alpha guy, and then only after the alpha guy mistreats you, you come running back to your safety net? Like, yes, on one hand, I'm sure you would be happy and thankful that you had an Atlas in your life, but realistically speaking, though, I don't think that most women would respect that kind of a guy who can't even respect himself enough to like move on from his love for you, if that makes sense. Also, just from my observation, again, I don't see this dynamic. I don't see most guys, no matter how nice they are, no matter how in love they happen to be with a certain girl, I haven't seen an example of any self-respecting guy in real life ever like hold himself back or reserve himself for a girl that clearly chose somebody else over him. If I was a man, I would not wait around indefinitely for any girl like that, especially after she's already gotten married to another guy. Like, Snape should have been done with Lily the moment that she decided to choose James and get married to him and have a kid with him. Snape should have been done and moved on to the next girl expeditiously. I understand that this is all fiction at the end of the day and we're supposed to suspend our disbelief, but I'm just saying, no man, no person with a shred of self-dignity would be that self-sacrificing for someone who gave very little in return to them, you know? I feel like that goes without saying for any self-respecting adult human. I don't know. You can flame me in the comments if you want to for that opinion, but I just have to call it like it is. This scenario is pure fantasy c0rn for women. Like, this does not happen in real life. A guy is not just going to like stay there at your beck and call like a little bitch after you've already gotten into a relationship with the most Mr. Alpha neurosurgeon guy who lives in a penthouse. And you wouldn't respect a guy who did that anyways. You would be repulsed. I feel like I could have articulated that better, but my brain is fried because I just stayed up the entire night to watch this damn movie. So yeah, thank you for watching probably the most mid movie ever of 2024 with me. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.